Welcome to Pundit. No, not that one. The Pundits. No, not that one. No, it's not Wednesday. We didn't fast forward. Tonight is BasketBros. I'm Jacob Christner. I will be taking the lead for tonight. And we have our four over here on the thing. We do have producers somewhere, somehow, but I'm going to take the lead for this one. We have our four for tonight. We've got first somebody who's a bit of a stranger lately. He needs to be here a lot more often. He is the second person from Detroit, but the first in our hearts. What can we say? Hello, Dom. What's going on?
How are we doing?
Not bad, not bad. Are we going to start seeing you here more often?
Probably.
Good to see you, my man. And what's with Blinky? You don't want to be pinky like picking the brain?
Oh, Blinky, because the staph infection that I have in my eye that has caused me to miss 2+ weeks of work.
Ooh, that's not fun. I've had one of those before. That's not fun.
We're on the mend.
Yeah. And then the second one from Detroit, the other one who's sort of happy having Monty Williams, but not too happy at the money. Scott Morganroth, the Motor City Madmouth.
You know what? Good to be back. It's good to have another Detroiter on here. It's pretty cool.
Definitely. And I was thinking that was saying make Detroit great again or something. You know, that hat.
Yeah, so I don't know. Motor City Madmouth. This hat's been long overdue. I just got it on Thursday. I worked in the Brothers Restaurant in Fort Lauderdale, so it'll be getting more airtime until we get another South Florida Tribune cap. Good to be on tonight.
And the fourth and final, last but not least, he was the 550,000th to have a chance to own the Hornets, but not quite. Anyway, Will Vogel, what's going on, my man?
They cheated me out. They cheated me
darn.
out.
Hey, no, you had a chance, man. You had a chance at $5 down. You know, $5 down and $5 for
Hey, Dom, did you hear who's actually interested in buying? J. Cole and Eric Church.
Yeah, I heard he's part of it.
I love it. J. Cole's a baller, and he goes to all the games. Yeah, I'm happy.
Hey, here's the thing. Next time you try to go for an NBA team, don't do the $5 a down, $5 a month plan. It doesn't work
I'll do $6.
Okay, very cool. So we got a really, really good show tonight. Let me see. Let's go. We're gonna get. You know what we need to do, because we have so many good ones. We need to get to our first topic right now. Oh, brother, Ja Morant. Oh, this guy. I'm telling you this. He definitely learns his lesson, doesn't he, guys? He totally. This was the thing I came up with Ja Morant. It was the fact that I'd heard that he had 25 games, and this is the thing. Very first one he had what was the first one that was the indefinite suspension? Remember that one? That
8 games?
Something like that.
6.
Second is 25. This is the thing in my deal. In my opinion, and I think I'm correct on this part. This is Adam Silver's way of basically saying you don't get a third strike because now you get Roy Tarpley of this era. You know, I think it's a year or more if he does it again. But it is especially when you have the NFL and they have all the stars of the NFL. The MLB's moving up, and the NHL had a tremendous playoff. They also have had a couple of sales. So they're building on theirs. And the NBA's not building. So they're just trying to keep all the stars that they can get. And right now, at this point in time, you lose a star like Ja Morant, they're afraid. Now, if Ja does it again, I think he gets a year or more. But I think that's our third strike. Yeah, a gun lighter. Here's the thing about it, though. Even if it wasn't, you're right on that. Even if it wasn't a gun, here's another issue that we have. He's also basically an alcoholic, because both times he has said it's drinking. I just was drinking extra. So here's the thing. Okay, so you have one of two problems, and they're both problems. You're waving guns around, which that is a major, major problem, especially in a time when there's certain people that want to see guns away. So you're seeing that, and then and there's people that want you away from Memphis to get you away from that culture. But even if it's not that, now you've got a drinking problem when you're so young. You are so young with that kind of drinking problem. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to, let's see, who do I want to think? I want to go to Dom, since you're there. I want to see what you think about all this.
First of all, before we even get into Ja Morant, I do not like the Roy Tarpley comparison at all.
Okay, why not?
Ja Morant hasn't broken any laws. he hasn't necessarily, that I know of, broken any sort of player conduct code. Roy Tarpley was doing cocaine, which is against the law.
Yeah.
And also against whatever the player policies were. However,
well, when I said Tarpley, by the way, I was just talking about the year suspension. That's when I was saying.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That when I said they'll go Roy Tarpley, I meant the year suspension. I get what you mean, though.
I don't agree with the suspension. If anything, the first one should have been the very firm slap on the wrist, because at this point now, it's a problem. But still, like I said, he has not broken any laws. And if he's violated any sort of player conduct code, it's news to me.
Mm-hmm.
Is he a dummy for doing what he did more than once? Absolutely. And I said right when it happened the first time, Memphis is not a good place for him to be, because he's a little guy with a Napoleon complex. He's not from the hood. He's
Right.
from the country. He went to a prep school in high school to play basketball. And Memphis has a very seedy underbelly. Not the place for him. Hopefully he learns his lesson, because he is a phenomenal talent.
Oh, yeah.
And if he ever develops his jumper, his career could rival that of Derrick Rose.
Yeah. Without the knees. Hopefully without the knees. But
that's why you got to develop that jumper now.
Yeah,
Hopefully for those 25 games he's suspended, he's in the gym working on that 3-ball.
Oh, absolutely. And my issue with Morant by itself is it's the fact that it's like there are people talking about, oh, go to Chicago, because that's selfishness. And it's like, Chicago's no better. And it's like, do you put him Atlanta wouldn't be any better. I live in Atlanta. It's still, but I'm just saying, unless you put him in where I'm at, and it's like, who knows with that deal. But this is the big thing. And this is what I say. Right. Taser, did he ask? And say, yeah. But the biggest thing, here's what I'm saying with this. It's the fact that he has been dumb with these whole situations. He's acted stupid, then he does it again. It is completely obvious he has people around him. They are saying they are telling him, they are making him guilty that he made it. They are making him guilty that he's got money. They are making him guilty that he went to a private school. They're making him guilty. And then there's basically all these the wrong kind of peers, and they're talking to him as such. And he is listening because he's young and he's impulsive. And one of the things about it is the fact, here's the thing. Would a Phoenix help him? Is there anywhere that gets him away from that, but would he want to?
No. Because the wherever the team that you play for plays its home games, it doesn't matter if it's Portland, Memphis, Houston, Detroit, doesn't matter. What you can't do is do dumb. I'm going to say you can't do dumb shit on the internet in the internet age.
Yeah, that is true.
Like what's the best possible outcome for him flashing a gun on Instagram?
And a third time will be a year, and that's the tough part. And Scott, let's see what you say.
All right, number one, Dom, the only thing we have in common on this show is we're from Detroit, because what you just said, I totally disagree, man. I really do. The guy should have gotten 50. Easily 50 games. You think that what he was flashing was a squirt gun or a BB gun or a cap gun? No, he was not. This guy walked into the commissioner's office, said it won't happen again. What do you think happens? It happened again. Rule number one, don't tell the commissioner one thing and then do it again. Because number one, that makes two people look bad. Silver, because he's soft anyways. I wish we had David Stern to begin with. And number two, it makes a player look bad. And three, what happens if you embarrass the Shield? Well, you know what? Ask Ray Rice about that question. Embarrass the Shield, they give you a one-way ticket out the door. So I do believe the next time it happens, it's a year, and then he has to apply for reinstatement. The way to teach this kid a lesson is take away his time on the basketball court. And you want me to give you a better example of that? I used to work with a guy named Chuck Daly. Ever heard of him? Okay. You know what he used to tell me?
Nah, not at all. No.
Yeah, okay. You ever heard of him? If you don't practice hard, guys, I'll just take away your minutes. Period. So you know what? Here's the deal. Rule number one, don't lie to the commissioner. Two, don't make the league look bad, because once upon a time, this league was on tape delay. I'm probably the oldest one in this crew that remembers tape delay, because I used to work at a restaurant back in Metro Detroit, And I love working till 11:30 because I got to watch the NBA. What a beautiful thing. And you guys are the most overpaid of all the four major sports. I'll get to that on another program. But no, he should have gotten 50. He got off easy this time. I don't care what anybody says. Anybody wants to debate me, go ahead. You can go ahead and debate me on Twitter at Tribune South. I'll take them all. I have no problem with that. But should have gotten 50.
And Will, what do you think?
I think you should have gotten half a season. You do 41 games. I agree with Scott wholeheartedly. Lying to a commissioner is not only bad, but saying you won't do it again, and then fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you, good sir, for doing it again. But I think it should be half a season. And you know what? If it happens again, suspend him the whole year. If it happens yet another time, yet again, then kick him out of the league. You say you're banned for life. Go play in China. Maybe David will somehow
I was going to
take
say
maybe
to China
not.
for you, sir.
Hey, well, let me
China
add
for
your.
you, sir. Go join Dwight Howard's team because he's trying to recruit.
That's
people.
Taiwan.
But you know
trust
what?
me, they don't like each other.
I agree with Dom. You're not hood at all. You're not hood. You're from the country. You played at a prep school. You're surrounded by negative energy, and you think, "Oh, I'm waving a gun. I'm so cool. I'm gonna get millions of clicks and followers, and people are gonna be like, man, that guy's so cool." Wrong. Do you know how many young people probably follow the dude? I'm gonna guess 85% to 90% are kids, maybe between 10 and like 30. I don't know. Who knows?
Hey, Will, let me enhance your point for a moment, if I can, real quickly.
Yeah.
How did Ben Simmons look after a year off?
Not great.
Not good, right?
No,
He wasn't
terrible.
good. Shell of himself, and now he's in trouble.
He would.
Take a year off in this league, and you're in trouble.
Yeah. So in general, personally, I think it should be half a season. It's idiocracy, and you know what? You're gonna regret it because if you're banned for life from the NBA, you're gonna beg you want your job back.
Well, here's the thing. Another one is, and that was a holdout.
You know what the funny thing is?
What?
The Grizzlies aren't even tripping because they're just as good without him.
They are.
And no, here's the thing.
I said that the Grizzlies aren't even tripping.
Yeah, and it's like, but here's another thing. One of the biggest things is the fact that we talked about Adam Silver. Adam Silver was the lawyer of David Stern. Yeah. So he was around him all the time, and you have to wonder if this was, and I'm just saying this, you have to wonder if this was a potential Trump situation like they had in the White House, just bringing that part up, and David Stern wouldn't allow it. Because Adam Silver and David Stern have completely different mindsets on running the league.
I wonder when they can, real quick before we go to the next topic, I wonder when's the next period they can try to re-elect a new commissioner.
I don't think they will.
I think he was extended, wasn't he?
I don't know how it works.
Him a lot of money because of that.
Because if they have Goodell,
you have to step down, right?
Like him or not,
there to be a
he was
new
extended.
Commissioner.
Well, you got to realize, Will, we talk about when they can get a new commissioner. All of us here on BasketBros, all of us here on Sideline Sports, all of us here everywhere, we can fans, we can hate them all they want to, but in the end, for us to have a chance to get rid of them, we need to be owners. We need to be owners of 4 teams and see if we can get others to get rid of him. Other than that, it's still the owners that make the decision.
Yeah, but you know what? In the end, though, if you decide to get rid of him, I could say he's soft all day long. But here's the thing, whether you like a commissioner or not, if he's making you money, getting you big TV deals, you know what?
Yeah.
They'll look the other way because it's all about this.
Yeah. Yep. Let's get to our next topic. See what we have over here. And
the one I brought up.
Yep. Oh, and of course, and here's what's funny about Michael Jordan. Those numbers, those basically sound like an exhibition game for him.
They're pedestrian.
Yeah, those sound like an exhibition. But by itself, this was very, because you got to remember the early times in the playoffs. You got to remember 49 points, 63 points, 55 points, 54. He'd have to do it all. It was later in his career, you bring up the 4th NBA championship when you'd see those numbers. Mind you, he'd have his 35 here and there. He'd have a 40 here and there. He'd have the 6 in the first half, 6 3-pointers in the first half. But here's where you have a whole team. You're not dealing with Granville Waiters. You're not dealing with Kyle Mason. You're not dealing with, any of those players. Those are not your teammates anymore. You have a Horace Grant from the earlier time. You have a Dennis Rodman. You have Scotty, obviously. You've got at first John Paxson, now Steve Kerr. You've got everybody. You can pitch the ball a lot more. You can get your stats in other ways. And you got to remember, it was also, I wonder how many steals he had in that game because that was his normal deal too. So you have that. So okay, let's go to Dom first.
Dang it. This was my topic. I'm just kidding.
I was going to go. You can go first. Well, it's your topic because I want to actually go look at the box scores from that year and educate myself. So go ahead.
No offense.
So this is 95-96, right?
Yeah, the fourth one, yeah.
But I'll go real quick. I know you said Dom first.
You go ahead.
So, as most of us watched The Last Dance, you could tell it was an exhausting championship for Jordan. And I remember him sitting on a couch or chair, and he's like, the only guy I give credit to is the glove. And he had mad respect for Gary Payton. But Jordan gave everything for that championship because his dad was dead. His dad was like one of his best friends. His dad was always there for him when he needed him. And it took a toll on Jordan. And to fight through, like, it reminds me of when, I wouldn't say it's like exact the same, when Brett Favre had that amazing game after his dad died. But this was it was a pedestrian game for Michael Jordan. But you know what? It's crazy because it shows a pedestrian game for Michael Jordan. The rest of his team will go off just to get Jordan that ring to honor his late father. And you know what, man? It's crazy because you would think, oh, Jordan's going to drop easily, maybe 40 plus, but no, 22 for Jordan. That's pedestrian. But yeah, it's a moment we remember in NBA history. Isn't there a photo where he's holding the trophy and he's crying like this, like leaning into it? Yeah. So very emotional. The reason I brought this up is because it's Father's Day and my name tonight is Kirk's son. My dad's name is Kirk. Shout out to all the dads out there. Happy Father's Day. Thank you for all the support and love. But yeah, that's all I've got to say.
Yeah. And do you have enough Dom? Should I go, Scott?
Dom?
Scott can go.
Okay,
all
go
right.
ahead.
Well,
I'm looking at the game log now, and I'm just like, go ahead.
When you look at this topic, I look at it what preceded his 4th championship. He played baseball for a couple of years and found out even the greatest basketball player on the planet is going to get humble playing baseball because he has to understand that his ego is so big that failing 70% of the time isn't in the Jordan rules, as we call it. So, so he had to win that championship. He was off for a little while, got it out of his system, right? And to me, it was something else. Now, I'm going to give you a good Father's Day story that I think everyone can appreciate.
Okay. Yeah.
One of my favorite Father's Days occurred in June of 2001. The Arizona Diamondbacks were hosting the Detroit Tigers. Why is this such a great Father's Day? Well, you ever heard of a guy by the name of Ernie Hartwell?
Yes, you've told us.
Pretty good, right? Ernie and I got to spend Father's Day together.
Ooh.
And you know what? I have a bag of tortillas.
Ernie was all right.
Huh? What's that?
You knew it was all right?
I said Ernie was all right.
Yeah, I would say so. So anyways, Ernie and I had a father-son relationship. I used to call him Uncle Ernie, do anything I needed him to do anytime I needed him on the air. But here's a funny story, and I actually have it here, but I want to bring it down. We can only get off camera. Maybe down the road I'll bring it up. But he gives me this thing here, of tortilla chips. I don't want these things, so what do I care? There's no value to them. Scott, please take these. Ernie, there's no value to me, man. I said, but I'll tell you what I'll do. If you sign them with a Sharpie, then I will take them with me. And then I go out there and say, now those tortilla chips have value. and they are here in my studio right here. And then he smiled at me like you wouldn't believe it. It was just
That's awesome.
What a
so
show.
yeah, when you
Well,
so in my opinion, when you go out there and talk about Father's Day, don't get me wrong, guys. What Michael Jordan did was unbelievable, but he did it after he played baseball, and it showed that he can rebound from a sport stressful. And then he had it back in him, and we all saw what happened there. He won a total of he was 6 for 6 when competing for championships. But I had to bring up the Ernie Harwell thing.
I know
really
that's
did.
a great story.
well,
And that was surreal.
one of the things that I look at when I think about these championships by Michael Jordan, and mind you, every bit of everybody's going to remember 6 for 6, but we have to give all the respect in the world for the old timers, the Birds, the Jordans, the Isaiahs, the everything like that, because not only for winning it all as they did, but even getting there, because no matter what, that's 100 games you play. And though, you know what I'm saying? As 100 games that you play in those times, those were 3, 4. Everybody I name is 3, 4 straight years. Playing 100 games basically straight up, other than maybe one of those. And it's like, and the injuries took a toll. And it's like, to Jordan, it was mental. To Jordan, it was mental because he looked exhausted by the end of every one. But then here's the thing. We don't have to, we can LeBron can drive us absolutely nuts. And we know about everything with him, and just like Kawhi Leonard and load management and everything like that. That's 10 years of finals. Yeah, he's 4 and 6, but that's 10 years of finals, which means I'm going to say he didn't play 100 games. Obviously, he's only played twice the full. I don't think he's ever played full season, but still 90 some odd games, not everything like that, and you're still continuously, and then you're working on your body. And then Stephen Curry's, what has he been to 6 finals, Curry? 5.
That sounds accurate.
Because he's got 4 rings. Does he have 5 or 6? 6 finals.
Total? 6.
Total. Finals.
6. Let's see.
6.
Lost to the
6
Cavs.
appearances.
Yeah, he lost to the Cavs once. So, yeah.
But I'm saying that, and yeah, definitely LeBron take. But that's the thing. You played that many games. You play that much all the time, no matter what, whether it's this era or that era when you got the crap kicked out of you. Whether you're doing that or not, that's a physical and mental beating. And we have to give in any era, regardless of load manager or not, we have to give all of that in the world. Now, we have to give all the credit in the world to do it. And here comes a LeBron take. Come on, Dom.
Nothing to say about LeBron other than I'm extremely disappointed in you for even bringing him up in the same breath with all those other great players.
Oh, okay.
But a little bit about that closeout game 6. And this is why I hated Michael Jordan when he played, obviously because he was a rival to my Pistons. He only made 5 shots that game on 19 attempts. He was, however, 11 of 12 from the free throw line. And long before there was the LeBron rules and the Harden rules, if you gave Michael Jordan a dirty look, if you attempted to defend him, and this was like the 80s. Well, actually, I can't say that's true. After Chicago ended the Bad Boys, after that, if you gave him a dirty look, if you attempted to defend him, God forbid if you actually gave him a hard foul, but that died when the Bad Boys died. That was why I hated Michael Jordan, because he got steps and he got fouls. All these years later, I find myself constantly coming to his aid in the debates about Kobe and LeBron. I haven't debated LeBron and Jordan in 5 years. The only one you can even think about making that comparison with is Kobe. And Kobe is MJ Light. But congratulations, Michael Jordan.
Dom, I'm with you all the way there. We both lived it. Okay, number one, we're talking about when basketball was good, when basketball is bad. And you know what? In my opinion, here's the thing that you're missing, though, Dom, okay, is that LeBron had to piggyback to get his championships. Michael Jordan got them when they were bad under Doug Collins, all the way until they thrived under Phil Jackson. Whereas LeBron didn't win one in Cleveland. Let's go to Miami. Let's see if we get 5. Well, we're lucky to get 2. And then where did he go from there? Back to Cleveland, where he earned the respect for he got one there. and then with the Lakers in the bubble. So whereas Michael Jordan got them all for Chicago, and he did it with a 2-year hiatus. You often wonder what would have been if he didn't play baseball, how many would he have gotten? But I'm with you all the way.
We talked about this before, way back when.
Insanity, the insanity that I bring up was, I mean, of course, I'm not going to, as far as the skill, I'm always going to take Jordan over LeBron, so don't take that out. And then my guy over LeBron, I'm always going to do that. But I'm just all I'm bringing up by itself is the sheer amount of will it takes to keep, because that's mental. When you get to the 100th game, even if you sat some, that's a will. That takes some will. It's because Michael Jordan's the ultimate. Happy Father's Day. And it's like it is a mental deal to get to that long. And then there are people that wait to go 2 weeks. I mean, NFL's different because you play once a week and you practice and you're beat up. But at the same time, playing 162, playing 82 in hockey, going all that way every 2 nights, back-to-backs, everything like that. That will brutalize your mind as well as your body. So that's why I brought that up, that you do it 10 times, even if you're 4 and 6. I mean, I'm not doing it to compare to Michael, because Michael won them all, every single one of them. You got to remember, he had such a psychotic, competitiveness that LeBron just does not have. He does not have that dog. Not in the least. He showed it one time. That was the 2016 when, he got 41, 11, and 8, in the last 3 games. That was the one time he showed the dog. I haven't seen the dog in him that often. It's like, he does it once in a while. Jordan would show it in game 3 against the Clippers.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, that's the biggest difference. Isaiah always showed it. You guys know that. Isaiah always had the dog in him. Everybody had the dog. It's like we came from an era they had the dog in. Is why it drives us nuts to see this era now. We know their skills, but it does that,
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Oh no, he bullied the teammates. I mean, you got to remember. Here's the thing: he absolutely bullied the teammates. Darren Day played with the Bulls and the Celtics, and he definitely rather had Bird, because Bird actually threw the ball to him. So there's the difference. You know what I'm saying? It's like. Michael Jordan bullied his teammates as a psychotic. The other one was just as competitive, but more along the lines of, well, if you don't come through, you're just not going to get minutes. It was kind of like Chuck Daly on the court. So that was the big difference. It's like it was one personality to the other. But so really, I'm going to ask you guys a question before we go on to the next topic. Really, by itself. Do you think MJ would take, knowing what we talked about, how tired he was after the end, do you think MJ would have taken load management in this era now, knowing it's fully prevalent?
No way.
No way, no how.
No way.
What do you think, Dom?
Nope.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's why I wanted to question by itself.
You know who else didn't? Kobe.
Huh? You think Kobe would have?
I said, you know who else wouldn't? No.
Oh, yeah.
Kobe played through a torn Achilles.
Yeah, right. No, Kobe wouldn't have either. Those are blue-collar players.
Hated Kobe when he played, too.
Well, the thing is, with us answering that question, do you think it's the personality from AAU that gets that way? Because remember, what we're talking about is MJ from an era where he was on an outdoor court, and he was playing high school, and he had to go fight and do all that kind of stuff. Larry, the same. Isaiah was from Chicago, the same. All those guys. This isn't AAU time anymore. So let's just say they came from the AAU. Do you think it comes different?
Me personally, I say no. The bottom line is you're going to play. That's all there is to it. And you know what Chuck Daly always used to tell me? If you're not going to play, there's another guy ready to take your job. That's what he always told me.
Yep.
Well,
exactly.
He never cared. Again, now if you want to pose a question, maybe a future topic, what coaches wouldn't tolerate management? I know we talked about coaches and all that, but in a different way. Then you got another topic for another day. But there's no
that would be an awesome topic. I agree.
No way.
It's LeBron's fault.
Yeah. Or Kawhi.
Load management is LeBron's fault. I'm not saying it was his idea, but when he's your poster child and he does it, makes it okay. Super teams, not his idea, but he made it okay.
Well, Greg Popovich didn't help matters any either.
Wouldn't it be Kawhi more than LeBron? He kind of made it popular.
Well, you got to remember, if you're going to make that point, you got to remember it was Greg Popovich out there that rested a lot of his players, and the Spurs got fined for it. So, and Kawhi was on that team. So if you want to put together and draw the dots, you might get that. But no, I just think that what we're doing is talking about something here, load management from one era to another, and it was not heard of back then. Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was like relief pitchers prior to whenever relief pitchers came about.
Right.
Well, remember, Frank Tanana had 14 straight. Frank Tanana had 14 straight for Detroit, 14 straight complete games. So it's like that was during that time. So that was just that. Let's go on to the next topic. Let's get to this right here. We can get this. Yeah. Father's Day deal here. Just not to say that they played together, but just brother-son duo. I mean, I'm going to go first. We can obviously say the Currys. You have Steph. You have Dell. You have Seth. Yep. Thank you. We have those. And then they're so big I can barely see Scott. Let's see. We have those. We have, truthfully, I was going to say this, father-son duo. What does people think of? Okay, we're going to bring him up again. Do you think Bronny does anything in the NBA?
No.
I think he averages like 12 points per game.
Which is still not bad, but he won't be his dad.
No way, no how he will be his dad.
There's the Thompsons, by the way. There's the Thompsons, Michael and wait a minute.
Clay.
Yep.
And then you have the Sabonises, Arvydas and DeMontis.
Yep. Arvydas is one of my favorite players.
Yeah.
I had a little bit of a debate online on that. It's like Arvydas is one of those guys. Arvydas would give you low key. He low key gave Shaq a little bit of hell for the time he gave. He only played 25 minutes a game. But he was a low key gave Shaq issues when he would get in there because he'd block him from behind. He never tried bodying up because he would have been dead. He'd been dead trying to body up on Shaq.
I wish we could have seen him for the entirety of his career in the NBA. Because by the time he got here, his knees were like 70% shot. Best big man passer I've ever seen, though.
Oh, God, yeah. And it's like, and all I can think of is the reason I brought up Arvydas Sabonis is the people were comparing, when we were doing this debate, they were comparing the numbers against each other. For one thing, he only played 24, 25 minutes a game. His knees were gone. But when he'd be in there, he'd go for, he would not body up to Shaq. Shaq would have just thrown him out of the way. He was too brittle in the knees. But he was a great big man passer, great shooter from 18 and up. Great shooter from 18 and up, and very skilled. And he'd get away. He didn't try bodying up to you. He basically tried to get away and get out. He tried to get open, unlike other centers who basically bodied up. He was basically a power forward at 7'3". So, and that's I was bringing that up because he was basically what we see with Jokic now. Only Jokic plays 38 minutes.
Yep. So
that was what that was. I think I was bringing that up because we were bringing up would Jokic give Shaq issues? Absolutely, because we saw a little bit for the time he'd be in there. We'd see Sabonis give him that, just because of the way they played. It's just a different type. But so yeah, DeMontis and Arvydas definitely. Who else do you guys have?
Well, I had the Curry.
Go ahead, Will.
I had the Currys as well, but there's some also decent ones like the Hardaways. I'll tell you a really bad one because one's really good, one's terrible. Is the Waltons. You got Bill, and then you got Luke, and he done nothing.
Luke wasn't bad.
Okay, Luke was mediocre. Let's see. I'm trying to think who else.
I'm waiting to see if Scott steals mine.
No, I'm going to go with the Currys. As you guys saw, that's a picture of me when I went to the Curry camp when I was a kid. But yeah, it's the Currys.
No, I'm not going to steal yours. Don't worry about it. Number one, I like the Thompsons. But the one thing to watch out for on the coaching side is Paul Silas was really good. Hit with some bad teams. And watch for Steven Silas when he finally has an opportunity.
He's awesome. He was an assistant.
Hold on, Will. Watch for Steven Silas as he starts to learn from Monty Williams, and you might have an interesting Silas duo there. So, no, I don't think I stole yours at all. Did I, Tom? But, no, I like the Thompsons. They've done real well. but just watch for the Silases on the coaching end.
Don't forget the Malones.
Oh, well, yeah, I shouldn't forget them because I work with Brendan anyways. I work with Brendan Malone back in the Bad Boys era. So, I'll always be partial
the
towards
Brendans.
The what?
The Brendans. Brendan Sir
right,
and Brendan Malone.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, but I'm talking about Michael Malone and Brendan Malone. You talk about coaching. One won a championship on his own. One went out there and was a big part of another one, Chuck Daly's group. So good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting topic. I know we have a lot more good hay to go, though, don't we?
So I can't say best, but I will say a criminally underrated, and there was 3 of them, maybe 4. The Berries.
Rick, John.
Yeah.
Drew hit that game winner in a tournament game for
Valparaiso.
Valpo. Yep.
Yeah.
I think John wasn't John like they said something on Wikipedia. If you look up father-son duo, it was like John won a championship. It was like the first time father and son both won a championship. Something like that.
What they didn't say on Wikipedia was you had to check John Barry when he got off the plane. Like, people think this is a new thing with Steph Curry. John Barry would take 3 steps past the half-court line and pull. Like, you know where the line is for the coaches where they can't pass?
Yeah.
That was John Barry. And until Steph, I think Rick is still top 5 all-time in free throw percentage.
He's got to be top 10 at least.
Andre Drummond was working on that one-off season, but he didn't stick with it because he was too embarrassed. But worked for Rick Barry.
There's some guy.
You throw up a backspin underhand free throw. If you can get it anywhere near the basket, it's probably going in.
Yeah.
He was working on it 1 year, and it's like, here's the thing about this is the thing that gets that, and I'm going to bring it up during my final points. I'm going to bring this up where I get this from. Just ignore people. Where is people's ego where they can't ignore them? If it goes 75, 80% in, how many extra points? Who cares?
I guess Drummond wanted the distinction for having a tremendously worse free throw percentage than Shaq and even Wilt. Because I went and looked the other day and I thought it was close. It was not. Like, I could close my eyes and shoot left-handed and make a lot more free throws than Drummond. And he was soft.
I'm just saying I will never, ever, ever get it. I'll never get how I'm too embarrassed. It's like, it just doesn't matter. The millions of dollars don't seem to matter to these people.
It's free.
Huh?
It's right there in the wording. Free throw. Yep. It's free points.
Yep. I don't get the I'm embarrassed. I see that I'm noticing this also. It doesn't matter the millions of dollars. It does not matter you're in the NBA and they're not. It doesn't matter anything. The sports are so mental.
So I thought of an underrated one, and I just thought of it. I'm like, I don't know how I didn't say it. Mike and Henry Bibby.
Okay. That's a good one.
That's not bad.
That's a good one.
Except for Bibby took steroids. Right, Tom?
Yeah, all right. So you just killed your point because one took steroids. Good stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Come on, Will. You can do better than that.
Yeah, but Bibby did take steroids.
Yeah, but listen, you should have quit while you were ahead while we were all agreeing. Then you threw the steroids.
He did. Dom even knows
I know he did, but don't kill a good point with a bet. Turn a positive into a negative.
We know Henry didn't.
I like Bibby Bobby in Sacramento.
I'm trying to think.
Yep, Hardaways.
Where the Dunleavys were.
Yeah, they weren't bad either. No, you're right. They weren't bad either.
And Dunleavy just got hired as
general manager of the Golden State Warriors.
Bingo, yeah.
You're welcome. Anytime, but well.
And Dunleavy, and I'll tell you, Mike Dunleavy was a pretty good coach.
Well, you got to go then anywhere else. You might as well put Don and Donnie Nelson. If you're going to go there.
Yeah, Don and Donnie.
Yeah, sorry, but
let's go on. I was going to say this because we're going to have our parting shot sometime. Let's go on to Zion because we have something to talk about with Zion.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Now, this is my issue with Zion Williamson. people will bring up last year. You remember when I was getting all over Facebook and I was like laughing my ass off. He ain't gonna make 25 games. And then I said I was wrong. He made 29. And then he was done. That's what I do. It's because that doesn't make you Nostradamus. It doesn't make you. It's just completely obvious. But it's media won't realize he had blown out ankle from the get go. Yeah. So this is the thing I have a question for. I'm talking about the whole NBA before I even go to everybody here. I really need to know this. Let's see. Well, yeah, that's true too. But this is the thing I have a question for. Who truly wants to take that chance? I don't care if it's even Orlando, who's terrible. I don't care if it's who wants to take that chance, knowing you're giving up draft picks, knowing you're giving something up, and he may not stick. I mean, you're looking at a miniature Gobert type of trade here, or any kind of deal here if you're going to get to this. Who needs to take that chance? At least Gobert was playing, even if he's overrated. But who really wants to take that chance? He's not going to stay healthy. He's not going to stay thin. He's not going to stay muscular. He's going to be fat most of the time, especially through the season. He's going to be lazy some of the time. And then here's the deal. He's going to blow his ankles out because he has bad feet. Yeah. And you have to wonder. I mean, we say, where's he going to go with the Pelicans? My question is, what's the point? Who's going to ask for him? And let me go to you, Dom.
Wait, come back to me.
Okay, I'm going to go to you, Scott.
All right, number one.
What year was COVID, and how many games did they play that year, regular season?
2020, and it was, God, was it like 60? I don't remember.
72, the Pelicans played.
Okay, yeah. 72.
He's missed 64% of his career games.
All right.
Okay, go ahead, Scott.
All right, here's the deal. Zion, nobody in their right mind should even take this guy. Number one, I'll give you 3 examples. Sean Bradley came out, okay, a lot of potential. I was actually at the draft at the Palace of Auburn Hills when he got picked by I believe he got picked by the Sixers, if I remember right. Mm-hmm. Number 2, Greg Oden, great upside coming out. Injuries killed him, unfortunately. 3rd, Sam Bowie. Here he came out with Jordan. So I think really Zion Williamson is a bust and will continue to remain a bust. It's unfortunate, but that's just how it is. I mean, injuries happen. A guy that, is that heavy, that has to be dedicated to staying in shape. To me, he hasn't proven to me that he can play over 60, 70 games anyhow. So he was damaged goods in college and he damaged goods in the NBA. And if there's a team that wants to go out there and take a chance on him, go out there and do it. But you better not give up a whole lot because you're going to be eating a salary anyway. So to me, it would be a salary dump since we're on Sunday, with a whole lot of prayers, because he is a future NBA bust, period.
Yeah. And go on, Will.
I agree with Scott. The Sam Bowie, the Greg Oden, the Sean Bradley. It's exactly accurate. I saw a report and it made me disgusted as a Hornets fan. It's like, Hornets may get rid of, what is it? We have 2nd pick of potentially Scoot Henderson and Brandon Miller for Zion Williamson. I'm like, I get it. He played college here, but no. This guy's a boss. He's injury prone. He's played only a small percentage of his games. It's crazy. Him and Ja were the number 1 and number 2 pick. And those two are going to be fizzled out of the NBA sooner rather than not. We thought Ja was going to last for a few years more than Zion. And we thought Zion was going to have a decent career. Looks like these both guys are going to be fizzled out of the NBA in the next 5+ years. And we're all going to be like, wait. And then we're going to hear their names in the news somehow. And we're going to be like, oh, yeah, that guy. He was good in college, but didn't do nothing in the NBA. But seriously, honestly, if someone dare risk get Zion, like Scott said, I agree 100%. Don't give a lot because you're risking your team's future for a guy who's probably going to play only less than half of the games in the season. And also, don't give up a first rounder. And also, if you somehow get be able to sign him for years, do a 1-year deal. Just do a 1-year deal at least. Like, come on, this guy was
1 year for the 1 year for the minimum.
Exactly. Like,
But
I'm
incentives.
calling it right now. I'm calling it right now. Zion, if he doesn't stay healthy this year, I know there were rumors sometime that he may go to the Knicks. If he doesn't make it this year,
they'll kill him.
Good luck. You're going to the G League and you're staying there forever.
They'll kill him there. And I was gonna say this too. They're not even gonna remember you're good in college because they only play a year now, and it's gonna get to the point.
It's sad. Those
right
two
through.
picks, John and Zion, could be
He got hurt in college too.
Yeah.
Blew his shoe out. I watched that game. Terrible.
Talk about gamble.
Go ahead, Don. Then we got to go to the thing.
Well, keep it short. Zion Williamson in his career has played 36% of all possible games. He makes Joel Embiid checking in at 54% look like the picture of health. I would love to see him go to the Knicks because I'm still flabbergasted to this day that they didn't pull out the frozen envelope trick, a la Patrick Ewing. Zion never wanted to be in New Orleans. No one really wants to be in New Orleans except Mark Belf. However, had he been somewhere, anywhere else, even Detroit, Milwaukee, Oklahoma City, I promise you, he would have played more than 36% of his games. I never bought the hype on Zion. Then I watched like some interviews and a documentary, and like he's a good kid and he's a humble kid. And right when he came into the league, he got compared to Dominique Wilkins, and he said, "I want to be something more than just a human highlight reel." If he could ever get to the point of Neek, because people forget, Dominique Wilkins averaged around 25 points a game without a legit NBA jumper.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And he could even shoot. He could just shoot a little bit, but still, I know what you're saying.
Mid-range.
Yeah.
But mid-range is dead. Thanks, Steph Curry.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go on to what we're going to our final thing. Let's go to our final deal here. This is the parting shots, and I'm going to start with this because I want to bring something up here. Normally on Father's Day, I'll have a tribute to my dad. I mean, we were close. Just everybody knows the story. He was 50 when I was born, and he was born in 1928. So my brother and I are the rare ones that can still have somebody that can remember the Depression era. You know what I'm saying? This is, as the years go by, it becomes even less. We remember it, and I'm at 45, so that tells you something. 45 soon. He and I were close, and I used to have this thought process for the longest time. Okay, I'll go back home someday. I'll go home, and I'll just, I'll pick the time, especially, and guess what? It was the perfect time, because last year was the perfect time too. It's like I can do Sideline from anywhere. You can go to that thing. You're near St. Louis. You're near a few things, and I was thinking of that. But then something came up with all that. I think I realized it was him. The town was him. The fun was him. Every bit of all my memories were that. I remember when he was passing away, I was driving in. It was a snowy and icy time. And I came on in, and see, normally there's like 3 or 4 cars in a row. It's like a small town. 3 or 4 cars in a row. No cars in the road. None. Zip. No one's driving. None. It looked like tumbleweeds if it wouldn't have been so cold. And it said to me, this place is gone now. And each and every time I kept trying to get myself back, something would come up. Something comes in your head. I'm like, and for all that I'm going to remember for that town, the basketball, Quincy, all that kind of stuff like that, the fun I had, it was him. And I appreciate Dad so much for all the stuff, for all the times that I had that I remembered what he said. Yeah. Move, all that kind of stuff. There's all stories to that. And then when I was living in hotels and barely surviving and trying to get money, there was that. And that came into my head all the time. Move! Whatever. And I can't cuss on the right. And that got me through because it made me tough. And I appreciate him so much. And I do. and there was going to be nothing because I gave all my tributes on his birthday in February. So all I can say is happy Father's Day, Dad. Thank you for everything. It is my time now.
Thank you, Jacob. That was beautiful. Anyway, it is Father's Day. My dad is 63 years old. He's one of my best friends. I know he's proud of me every day. I'm proud of him. He makes me smile. He's the one who got me into playing soccer, actually. And I played basketball too, but he never played basketball. But he supported me. He tried. Unfortunately, he missed my only goal in soccer, but he was the one who got my brother, my sister, and I into soccer. We lived overseas because of him. He was in banking. We lived in London and Germany. We went on trips. We got to enjoy my brother's wedding last month. We traveled around Europe, Italy, France, Germany, Spain, you name it. The guy works his butt off. He always has a smile on his face. Whenever I see him, we were watching golf earlier today. Like after I got home from work, um, he he makes us all really happy. I know he's proud of my brother living in Europe. He's proud of my sister living in DC. I live with my parents though, and I'm thankful because if not, I would live in an apartment, but still, like having dinner with my folks means a lot. Like especially after like work. Like not saying my work stinks. It's just it's good to catch up a bit. And he he's a dedicated individual. He works hard every day. I go on daily walks with him whenever I don't work, and he has time during work, and we talk, we catch up, we do some things, and hopefully we get to experience more together. I've been thankful. I'm going to go real quick. My dad and I, the last 3 years, have been going to the PGA Tour event called the RBC Heritage in Hilton Head, South Carolina, and we go to the golf tournament together, and we stay in a nice Airbnb from a Monday until a Sunday, and he pays for it. He gets groceries. We get dinner. We have good food, and I'm thankful to have him. And we do guys trips. And Dad, I know you're probably not watching, but I love you, and thank you for naming me after your. My middle name's Robert after his dad, so real quick, in honor of my dad's dad, or my dad, when I have a son, hopefully, his middle name is going to be Kirk, Kirk. That's why I went by the name of Kirk's son today. So, thank you, Dad. God bless all the dads. Happy Father's Day.
Man, kind of jealous and at a loss. Wish I had a heartwarming story to share about my dad, like Jacob or Will. My dad, no, not so great, but it leads me into the point that I wanted to make for everyone like myself and many others of you out there that didn't have a great dad. Shout out to the stepdads and the moms, uncles, grandpas, brothers, sisters, cousins, whoever. All those people that stepped up and made a positive impact on our lives when our dads didn't, because all I get from my dad is the love of golf and the ridiculous attire of matching. But that's pretty much it. Happy Father's Day to everyone. If you got a good dad, remind him of that.
All right. I could go a couple ways with this. So I'm going to start first with my own father. 50 years ago, we won a city championship with a 21 win and no loss record. The year I became catcher. Best move that ever happened to me because I couldn't play any other position anyways. But over the years, he's been a great role model. And today, obviously, he was in Michigan at the age of 82 with the rest of the family. So, Dad, I love you very much. I appreciate everything that you've done in my life. And I look forward to seeing you later this summer. The second thing I want to talk about tonight is obviously have to stay with sports because I'm always doing this all day long, every night. But I want to reach out to a resignation that was truly unfortunate. The guy's name is Bob Huggins, now the former coach of West Virginia University. Bob Huggins, unfortunately, made a gay slur 6 weeks ago. His salary was reduced by $1 million, and obviously he donated that money to a good cause. Friday night, unfortunately, he had a DUI, second such thing, and today he resigned, and he's retired from coaching. He's a Hall of Famer, and he should be. Think about it. The man was .935 and .414, .693 winning percentage. He went to 2 Final Fours, which is unbelievable. Okay. And he is the 6th men's basketball coach with 900 or more career victories. He's been to 24 total NCAA tournaments, including 23 in the last 26 season. He's led his team to 9 Sweet 16s. This is a tough way to go with Bob Huggins. I'm glad you're in the Hall of Fame. I hope and pray during your retirement that you can reflect on all the good things that you went out there and did, and all the athletes and students and men that you developed. I just feel bad that, unfortunately, this DUI, Coach Huggins, and I've never met you. I hope one of these days I will. But to me, you're just an amazing person. We all make mistakes, but I'm just feel bad that it had to end on a DUI, because this guy had an incredible journey throughout college sports, and he was a role model to many. So enjoy your retirement, Coach Huggins. We all make mistakes. And even though we've never met, I still respect you very much. God bless. And I hope life gives you a very good ending, because you gave a lot of people great starts.
Yeah. Guys, this was and I wanted to say this is a great job. I mean, and I'll tell you this, thank you very much from behind the scenes, Denzel. Very much appreciated for what you did tonight. Thank you very much. And thanks for listening for what I was saying, because I didn't normally I'll put in tributes on Facebook and all that kind of time, but I wanted to save it for today. It's because what I gave was the goodbye. I thought I was going back home last year to my town, and I would be running Sideline from that and then going somewhere else, whatever, being that thing. But that town is a goodbye. That was my goodbye to it. It took me 18 years. It took me 24 years because I was in Tennessee for 6. It took me 24 years to say it, but something, and it's like it can take a while for sometimes to understand these things, and it's time to move on for what you had. Sometimes you have the great life. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you remember the good things, and you got to make your own elsewhere. And guys, I wanted to thank all of you, and I wanted to say you're kind of all my family now. And my brother, don't get me wrong, I got family. My brother's still around, my mom's still around, all that. But you're a new set of family. I appreciate every single one of you. And I'm always going to be around for everybody too. If anybody needs, Dom, Will, everybody,
Well, you guys are all my family too. I love coming on the show on Sunday night. It's the only show I would even bother to come on Sunday night. So that should be something there. And, not only these, but what we do at Pundits Fun and around Sideline Sports, we're all family. And our goal is to make sure that not only do we benefit personally because we have a platform to talk about things, but more importantly, we're able to have family, because as life goes on, you lose people, but you're thankful other people come into your life that make a positive impact. So you guys are my younger brothers. And again, with me being older than you, what would we expect anyways? Because I have a little bit more wear and tear and a little bit more, to talk about in this profession.
This is the time to shine.
That's
what are we competing with? Sunday night baseball?
Yeah. Well,
I don't care.
Jacob Christner, the Pundits Pundit, Scott Morganroth, Dom Darubis, and Kirk's son, Will Vogel. I'm Jacob. You have yourself a wonderful night.